Welcome to Everlasting Talk. Hello, welcome to Everlasting Talk. I'm your host Ever. Today at Biography, we talk about Hermann Goering. Before we continue, make sure to go on my social media links and check me out on Instagram, Blogger, X, YouTube, on Spotify. Get your merch on Spring, and check me out on Twitch and Kick as well. Thank you guys so much. Hermann Goering was a prominent figure in Nazi Germany. As one of Adolf Hitler's closest associates, Goering played a pivotal role in shaping the policies of the Third Reich. Let's get into the story of a man whose actions left a dark legacy on the page of history. Before I continue, a warning to you if you're sensitive to this kind of information. I know, especially with World War II and things like that. But yeah, thank you. Let's continue. Hermann Wilhelm Goering was born on January 12, 1893 in Rosenheim, Germany. Raised in a wealthy family, he had a passion for military service. He was instilled a serious sense of nationalism and pride in German heritage. Despite his aspirations for a career in the military, the aftermath of World War I and Germany's defeat uh, during the war left Goring disillusioned and vulnerable to extremist ideologies. After Germany's defeat in World War One, Goring became more involved in the right-wing political movements, eventually joining the Nazi political party. His charisma and military um, knowledge caught the attention of Hitler, who appointed him as a key figure in the party's regime. He was appointed at the time as Reich Marshal, which is second in command only to Hitler himself. He was also other positions he held. He was a commander of the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, and the plenipotentiary of the Fourth Year Plan. Eventually, he played a central role in implementing Nazi policies, including the persecution of the Jewish people and the expansion of Germany's military capabilities. So he was an architect of like the Holocaust and things like that, and also like um, the pink slip stuff and all that stuff. His downfall eventually came when the tide of the war was on turning against the Germans. When the Allies, the Russians, and the United States and the UK were starting to win over territory and taking over parts of the country. Um, so Goering's leadership of the Luftwaffe during the last couple years of the war came under scrutiny for many systematic failures. It feels like Germany was winning in the beginning. That's what got them so much land. It was like the Air Force, the Luftwaffe, and then, their planes and all that led them to be more successful. But eventually, they started losing a lot with the Allies getting better and better with the military technology. The Germans were falling behind, so it's definitely something that Hitler had a microscope undergoing and forced them to you know, change their ways. Um, so Goring was gonna be one of the leaders of Germany with Hitler, but Hitler, he took his own life, so technically the war was over. So once the Germans surrendered in 1945, Goring was captured by the Allied forces. He was tried and convicted of war crimes and crimes against humanity during the Nuremberg trials. Unfortunately, before he got executed, Goring took his own life by ingesting cyanide on October 15, 1946, in Nuremberg, Germany. Um, I don't recall how he got the cyanide. I think someone was sympathetic to him, so they slipped him. They hid it and gave it to him, or he stole it. I gotta definitely. I remember the details of that, but it's very important to know. Um, the reason we talked about Goring today, I know like why you're talking about these different figures and the Nazi regime. It's just his legacy is one of infamy. As a key architect in the Nazi regime, he played a central role in orchestrating the atrocities of World War II. Like I mentioned before, the Holocaust. You know, persecution of Jews, the Jewish people. His actions serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and extremist ideologies. Because yeah, he believed so heartily that he did anything that the part that Hitler wanted him to do. So that definitely led to him, eventually taking his life. Obviously, I think every leader I've mentioned um, has taken their own life. So it's like they wanted to do this, but they didn't want to take the action. What is it? They didn't want to take responsibility for their actions. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how he did it in prison. I mean, with Himmler and Hitler, they took their own lives in a bunker. Goring waited until after his trial, but hey, we don't know his power. And why should you care about this person? I think it goes back to the legacy. With studying Hermann Goring, it provides a valuable insight in the rise of Nazi Germany and how quickly they did it. I mean, I think it's like it was a short time that the Nazis took power, and then it was a short time that it was all gone. And also the mechanics of a totalitarian regime, how they convince millions of people to, change, with their mentalities of, and commit mass murder and genocide. So that's something, we should not obviously don't care about the person himself because he was an evil person, but to understand the logic behind it and also how we prevent it in the future. Like I said, his life serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of blind allegiance and importance of standing up against tyranny. I think at any time they could have just stopped doing it, but I guess it was too late until the war started and everything that happened after that. Some sources you could look into. There's a memoir written by Albert Speer. It's called Inside the Third Reich. You could check out. There's also a documentary directed by Leni Riefenstahl called The Triumph of the Will. There's another, I think it's a book. I think, yeah, it's a historical account, a book by William L. Scheer, which it's called The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. Also, there's a historical document called the Goring Testament. There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. These are the sources I looked into. But yeah, I mean, you could definitely do your own research as well. I mean, it's definitely good to understand these people's ideologies and why they do it, and why you know it's it's a way why it's like the complexity of it all, and how this person whose actions continue to haunt the pages of history and keeps serving a solid reminder of humanity's capacity for darkness. So hopefully you guys learned something today. On the next episode, we're sticking with World War II. We're going to talk about Benito Mussolini, the Italian fat dictator who actually worked with Hitler himself and Nazi Germany. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Yeah, thank you guys again so much for joining me. Make sure to like, subscribe and follow on all my social medias like Instagram, X, YouTube. So you can check everything out on Spotify. Make sure to follow me on Twitch as well. Kick. Get your merchandise at Spring. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you guys so much again. And I'll see you at the next one. Bye, y'all. Thank you for listening to this episode of Everlasting Talk. For more content, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at Everlasting Talk. Thank you.